So lately, YouTube's been a pretty negative place, Cody. So I figured I'd throw in some positivity and talk about things I did right as a beginner guitarist. Cause you know, I feel like there are a lot of videos that are like things I wish I knew when I started, mistakes I made as a beginner, and same. So this video is also going to be one of those. But also, we often fall back into bad habits or we begin to neglect the fundamentals. So this video is really for everyone. So don't go anywhere. Okay, so I figure it's best to start on a bad note. So we're gonna start off with the bad stuff. Cause you know, you need rain to make corn. So number one, not practicing with a metronome. This didn't seem like a big deal to me because like just playing by myself, you know, I'm like mostly in time, so it sounded fine. But then when I tried recording stuff, no, I'd stray. And number two, not tuning enough. And number three, not sticking with one course. It is good to look at a variety of resources and like cross-reference and make sure you're getting all the info, but it's also good to, you know, finish what you start so at least like you have everything down. So what I'm really trying to say is just finish what you start. Wow. And number four is getting comfortable. Like if you're doing anything new, you're gonna suck. And I have two quotes. One of them is, if it doesn't suck, then it's not worth doing. Which I don't know if that's true. Maybe if you don't suck at first, then whatever. And the second one is, when you're doing something new and you see someone who's better than you, it's not because they're more talented, it's just that they've spent more time sucking. So remember that, you suck. And number five is not sticking with a practice routine. You know, you're like, there's more important things than practicing with a metronome. Like I should be doing scales, but you probably want to do scales more because you're already better at scales. So do the thing you suck at. Your excuse is probably bad. Okay, sorry for all the negativity. On to the good stuff. Number one is I picked the right guitar. I have a little video about this. It's kind of old, so I don't know if it's good. It's probably good. Number two is I filmed myself. It's really easy to be blind to your progress because the day-to-day is pretty slow. So you might feel like you're not improving at all because like you forget how bad you actually were. And then like you can lose motivation because you're like, I'm not getting anywhere. When really you've come a really long way. It's kind of like when your friend gets a puppy and you see and you're like, oh, and you come back like 4 months later and you're like, oh my God. And they're like, what? Because your friend sees the dog like every single day, so they don't notice it getting gradually bigger. But like really, it's gotten a lot bigger. So what I'm trying to say, by filming yourself playing, you can see your progress a lot more clearly and it can help keep you motivated. And number three, I used a variety of resources. So this kind of goes against that other thing about not sticking with one course. But the other thing means stick with one course. But it's also important to make sure you find the right course for you because you don't want to write off the guitar because you don't like the teacher. And number four, playing with friends. Learning how to play a new instrument is a lot like learning to speak a new language. And like you can totally use Duolingo and like, you know, read in that language. But the best way to learn a language is to speak to other people in that language. And it's the same thing with guitar. Like you can get as good as you want, like playing in your room, but without playing with other people. Number one, it's fun. Number two, you can compare what you're doing with what they're doing to see if you're doing something wrong. And if they're doing something wrong, teaching's a great tool to learn yourself. Number five, and most importantly, is sticking with it. As Einstein once said, things take twice as long as you expect them to. Or maybe that was Bill Gates. Someone said it. The point is, you know, it might take a little longer than you expected, but it's so satisfying when you get there. There's this rule that I saw for learning guitar. You don't have to play it every day. Just put it in your lap every single day. And that's the best way to learn. And it's kind of the same rule as for doing like any kind of work. Like if you want to write, just open up the page to write. Like a lot of the time, the hardest part isn't even doing it. It's just starting it. And then once you have momentum, like you just keep doing it and you're like, whoa. But as long as you put it in your lap every single day, the results will come. That's pretty much it for today. I'll see you soon. Bye.